Welcome, everyone. I'm Kimberly Boschman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive podcast. Before we get into the reading, I just want to mention that I do have a few new services available, a couple new offerings. I'm going to leave the information in the description box below. You can click on the link and, again, read more into it to see if it's something that speaks to you. Also, this, of course, is a general reading, so if you would like a personalized reading, then of course book some time with me and we'll take a deeper dive into your own personal energies. Okay, so as always, first we're going to look at the energy for the collective. And remember, when I say collective, that includes you, that includes me. We're all part of the collective. So when I go over the collective energy, it's energy that has the potential to influence us individually as well as collectively. So it's actually really important information. So first I'll go through that for August, and then I will get into the specific life path forecast. Let's go ahead and get started. So we are looking at August 2021, and August ushers in a 13-4 cycle. So this is a 4 universal energy. So collectively and individually, we could all feel the influences of this energy in a myriad of ways. 13-4 energy, there's so much I can say about this energy, so I'll try to keep this as brief as possible, but there's just so much potentially to come in this month, so I want to make sure you're aware of it. So 13-4 energy is the vibration of the divine feminine and Mother Earth, okay? So kind of keep that in mind as we move through this reading. The divine feminine, of course, being an energy. It doesn't matter if you're male or female, we all have divine feminine and divine masculine energies from within. And there's also those divine feminine and divine masculine energies without. So just kind of keep that in mind. But 13-4 energy is the vibration of the divine feminine and Mother Earth. So at its core, this energy is very intuitive, very nurturing, and receptive energy. However, it's very nuanced in its layers, and you sort of need to sift through those layers to reach that vibration. And so what I mean by that is, think harmony through chaos or harmony through conflict. So yes, this is a very nurturing and supportive, beautiful energy, but it's also a bit of sort of tough love at first. This 13-4 energy will, in one way or another, show us exactly where our mess is and insist that we take responsibility for it and clean it up before we can essentially move forward. So it's like needing to do our chores first before we can go outside and play. So if there are deeds left undone within your life or faults within the foundation, this energy will highlight those areas and really push you towards sort of making the appropriate adjustments so that you don't remain in an unhealthy cycle. So this is a very practical, real-world, grounded energy. We are all sort of really looking at the tangibles here: relationships, career, actions, material goods, resources, laws, belief systems, structures, including our own personal structure, i.e. our body, mind, and spirit, right? So during a 13-4 cycle, we're really being faced with the polarities of our own personal experience, and we're being asked to find our own harmonious center within those polarities. So you may see things surface this month personally as well as on the global stage that, again, are those polarities, and we're being asked to find that center. So when you're faced with some kind of polarization that makes you feel off kilter or out of sorts energetically and physically, that is an indicator for you to work on finding the balance that equalizes the energy for you. Okay, you don't have control over the external, but you do have control over finding your own center and sort of internalizing and realizing what that feels like for you. And yes, you're probably going to fall off that, from that center many times, right? As you move forward. But at least you'll have an understanding of what that center feels like, and you can continue to find your way back to it. Finding your center will be personal for you and unique for every person, right? So it may take a little bit of trial and error, but basically that's where the work lies and where the energy is trying to steer you towards. So figuring out where that center is for you, okay, that's the work. So the nurturing, intuitive, loving, harmonious energy of this 13-4 cycle resides within that center space. So when you find that center, that's what's waiting there for you, right? And so, like I said, yes, we fall, on either side of that center, sometimes well beyond that center, many, many times throughout our lifetime, and as we continue to progress and move forward and evolve. But it's in finding that center and finding that harmony and that balance and those calm waters that we realize, again, what it feels like, and then how we start to understand the process of getting back to that center when we start to feel polarized again, okay? And that this 13-4 energy is going to assist you in doing that. So 13-4 cycles can initiate a karmic beginning of some kind or some kind of karmic conclusion. So 13-4 energy can be very karmic, basically. So again, you may see some kind of karmic situation initiated at this time, or some kind of karmic conclusion or ending. So you may find people or experiences entering or exiting your life at this time. If they're entering, then you will begin a cycle of sort of working towards clearing that karmic debt. And the challenges that you face at this time will assist you in that process. If you're ending a karmic cycle at this time, you may see an influx of rewards coming in your way, right? And that person or experience that was involved in that karmic, payment may exit your life, or you may feel the energy sort of shift to where it no longer feels quite so challenging or so much like work. So whether or not you believe in karma, our souls came here for growth and expansion, and the soul contracts that we have with others help to facilitate and at times accelerate that expansion. So you may see a soul contract be initiated or completed at this time. 13-4 energy is incredibly beautiful and supportive energy. I just want to reiterate that, especially in our evolution forward. It will, however, ask us to be very, very honest with ourselves when it comes to finances, resources, relationships, habits, mindsets, actions, and so on and so forth. So anything you've been trying to avoid up to this point could come in front and center of your awareness now to be dealt with, once and for all, or at least initiated. And, the beautiful aspect of 4 energy is that you will most certainly, most definitely get out of the experience whatever it is that you put into it. So you get to decide where within your life needs a little bit of tender loving care, needs some remodeling. This is a perfect cycle to begin, right? These energetic and these physical projects, this is a great energy, a great cycle to start those projects. So one final note I want to make is this is a great cycle to make time to truly ground yourself, to spend extra time in nature, and surround yourself with the many gifts and blessings of Mother Earth. Because again, this is her energy. This is her cycle. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the individual life path forecast for August. Okay, 33 sixes. 33s, I pulled an animal spirit card for you all, and you got rabbit spirit. And so what I'm really seeing here for August for you all is this emphasis on family, on maybe starting a family, maybe taking a relationship to the next level. A lot coming in around like security, safety, community, like working with others, but really like the family or extended family. And family can include like, you know, it doesn't have to be your biological family. It can be the family that you've acquired throughout your journey, right? But it's definitely this idea of like surrounding yourself with the people who you feel most supported by and who bring some sense of normalcy into your life. So it's kind of like if things in the external are chaotic or hectic, then, you know, sort of sink into or give yourself opportunities to sort of sink into that supportive energy of the people who care the most about you or who are your greatest cheerleaders, right? I'm also seeing like this energy around like finances with the bunny spirit. And so it could be that like you get some support financially from a family member, or maybe you partner with like a family member or something like that. But I just see this sense of like building on your family, you know, getting to a place where you feel more safe and secure within like a family environment, whether that means like buying a house or building a house, buying some land, you know. Again, it just depends on your own circumstances, but that's kind of what's coming in with bunny spirit. So yeah, beautiful energy here. And again, it could be like if you've been thinking about starting a family, this could be a great time to conceive or whatnot. And for some of you, it might be that you're actually giving birth at this time. So beautiful energy with rabbit spirit. Okay, so I broke the month down into 4 weeks, and it's interesting because there's definitely an emphasis on the beginning of the month around finances. So first week of the month, if there's something that you may be invested in or started that would have had some kind of financial outcome and it didn't work out, and you kind of feel you know, obviously upset about that, or you feel like, okay, well, obviously this isn't ever going to work out, or whatever the case may be, the message is that all is not lost here. So don't give up completely yet. I feel like it's more about like the pieces that weren't meant to be part of the puzzle had to fall away and not work out. But that doesn't mean that all is lost. And so patience is going to be really key for you right now. And just to understand that you will reap the rewards for the effort that you put forth, even if it doesn't look like what you want it to look like per se, or what you anticipate it to look like, you will reap like the rewards that are in direct proportion to the effort that you put forth, which is interesting because we're also in this 4 universal cycle in August, which very much complements that kind of energy. So just, you know, don't beat yourself up too much. Like if you're just like, you know, feeling shame or like, you know, again, just kind of beating yourself up because whatever this venture was didn't work out. I think you're going to see things sort of circle back around, or you're going to gain some insight that's going to show you the next step type thing. But again, all is not lost. And I think you're actually going to be very pleasantly surprised with the harvest that comes in for you when it's time. Okay. So again, if you're feeling any kind of like resentment, regret, you know, remorse around some kind of investment, some kind of physical, monetary or resource adventure, right? Just try to put a plug in that, right? Like it's okay to feel that, you know, feel whatever comes up for you, obviously, but just don't beat yourself up too much, because I feel like you just don't have all the answers yet, and those answers are coming. And I say that because in the second week, it's interesting. It's kind of like you gain some kind of new perspective, and you're able to see at that point sort of the puzzle pieces that were missing. And so again, it's kind of like an initiation or a start or a new idea that comes in so that you can continue to sort of build on or complement whatever it is that you're working on previously. So, you know, I use like money, but it could also be like, you know, buying a house or something like that, or again, buying land or deciding to become a farmer, and you buy land and maybe the first crop didn't work out and you got really upset about it and you were going to give up. But you're in the hole because you just invested all this money into this resource. And now, and so again, what you're not seeing is that it's coming, you know what I mean? Like it's coming. And so again, I think the second week is going to give you some kind of better perspective on whatever this was. And you will either be able to build on the initial investment, or you'll be able to start something new, but with the understanding that that work that you've done previously or invested in previously is not lost and is not for nothing, right? So very, like I said, it feels very physical, very like on the physical plane, whatever this is for the first couple of weeks. So this isn't going to be for everyone. It's a general reading, of course, but I think the key messages is just one, don't beat yourself up too much if there was something that just didn't work out the way that you had planned for it to work out, because there's definitely this part of the equation, a big part of the equation that has to do with divine intervention and divine timing, right? So it's like you can have all the talent in the world, you can have like all of the resources in the world, but it's like for things to work out the way that they're meant to work out, there's got to be those ingredients of divine timing and divine intervention. And so those just haven't completely occurred yet in this scenario, but I feel like you're going to start to see those inclinations around that second week. And so, yeah, just be open to the perspectives and the ideas that come in for you around that second week. And first week, just don't beat yourself up. Just understand that if it fell away, it's actually for your higher purpose, for your higher good. So, okay. So moving into the third week, again, it's kind of like a story here. This is very much like a story, actually, if I'm looking at the whole month. So, first, second week is very much like first week, don't beat yourself up. Second week, you get a new perspective. Third week, it's kind of like you're actually seeing the break in the clouds. It's kind of like you've put in all this effort, you're ready to give up, but you're really, being influenced by that 4 energy of the collective in August, which is very persistent and, perseveres and is very dedicated and ambitious. And so it's like, and 4 energy has a hard time giving up on things, right? So it's kind of like you're pulling from that energy because you're just about to give up on whatever this is, even with this new perspective that maybe came in for you around the second week. But I think you start to see things sort of clear a little bit for you in this third week. And this could very well be very much around like a karmic cycle ending or coming to completion. And so oftentimes, as I mentioned in the intro, when a karmic cycle comes to completion, things just seem to like all of a sudden, as if, someone turned a switch on, gets so much easier, just seems to flow so much easier. And, again, we start to see certain rewards come in or new opportunities come in. It's like we've paid off that debt and now we can start fresh on something new. And again, reap some of those rewards for all of that effort put forth. So I feel like that's going to kind of be the energy this third week for you all, is like just when you're about ready to give up, which really is just like so, prophetic. That's like what happens so often in these situations. It's like just when we're about to throw in the towel, the universe says, oh no, wait, look what's over here. And so I feel like that's going to be kind of the situation this third week, is you're going to see the clouds part, the rain stop, and the rainbows come out, so really beautiful energy. Just keep going. Don't give up on whatever this is. You're almost there. And it's like once those clouds part and you can see more clearly, then you step into the fourth week. And, energy is fluid, so I don't necessarily see this happening like boom, boom, boom. But I definitely feel like if this is for you, you're going to start seeing those little seeds being planted, those little like initiations, right? Like you might not see everything come to fruition in August, and I don't think you will, but you'll start to see the start of it all, which is really beautiful. So yeah, third week, we've got like, you're kind of like, oh, I'm so ready to give up on this. I've put so much effort into it. And then the clouds part and everything, the birds start singing and everything gets beautiful. And then all of a sudden you step into the fourth week and it's like, wow, like everything is, the world just opens up for you. Things just get so much more expansive. And I feel like you're going to, at this point, see things way more clearly. You're going to like, all of a sudden, like the support comes rushing in, the things that you need come in, the people, the places, whatever. For some of you, it might actually be traveling, like traveling somewhere foreign, somewhere to expand the mind or the spirit or whatever. But it's emotionally fulfilling. That's the point. It's like, it's kind of like you feel justified for all of everything you've kind of done, like all the work you've put in. And this can also be, the last couple of weeks, part of the reading, or the last part of the month, about third and fourth week, don't have to be about, oh, that was my doorbell. It just scared me. It doesn't have to be about money, right? Or resources or the physical plane. It can very much be more about like relationships or the relationship with yourself or whatever, right? So, but it's very, very emotionally fulfilling, and it just feels very expansive. So it's a really beautiful, beautiful energy to work with. And, going back to rabbit spirit, where it's about like community and family and feeling supported and nurtured, which is also aligned with this 13-4 energy of August collectively. I think you're going to feel that, especially that fourth week. Like you're going to just feel really supported, and whether that's from your greater community or from your family, or from the support team that you have that you can't actually see, like your spirit guides, like maybe getting more in touch with spirit. So it's very beautiful energy this fourth week, just really, really positive and supportive and nurturing and just emotionally fulfilling. So I think the first week, maybe the third week could be a little bit challenging, just because, like I said, you're so, I think you just kind of feel like you've been putting in all this effort and not getting a lot out of the experience. But I think that's all shifting now for you, especially if you're ending some kind of karmic cycle at this time, which is very possible. So yeah, so it's actually, it has the potential. Let's put it this way: you can choose which energy you choose to sort of sit in. And so, especially like at that first week and that third week, the first week, you can sit in that sort of like, I can't believe this didn't work out. Like, woe is me. Like, this is awful. I'm such a failure. You can just go down a huge rabbit hole there. Oh yeah, rabbit. See? But you can go down that rabbit hole and you can stay there and just be miserable, right? Or you can like feel whatever comes up for you, move through it, but understand that, if it fell away, then it wasn't meant for you. And I can see in the energy that it definitely was not. And it's just creating space so that when basically it's like whatever it was that fell away was very limiting in the harvest that it would produce. Whereas what the universe is preparing you for is a much bigger harvest, if that makes sense. So yeah, so you get to choose what energy you want to, entertain and work with and maneuver through. So, or which one you kind of want to stay in. I think you may experience the polarities, but you get to choose which polarity, you want to, well, let's put it this way. You get to choose if you want to find your own center. Okay. Because the energy here is very, very beautiful. You have there's a little bit of polarization, but you have, beautiful aspects all throughout the month. So yeah, well, I hope it's a beautiful August for you all. Thank you so much for listening, 33s. And yeah, I will see you all again soon. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.